What is going on, guys? Cinema World from Cinema Vision here, back with another top list for you all today. Welcome to the final series of videos where basically I talk about my favorite moments from Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, and Cartoon Network, my favorite shows from all those networks. Now we're going to get to Cartoon Network. Step I know I'm not doing a top 10 worst, honestly, I was originally planning on doing so. But right now I couldn't find any like bad shows, and to be honest, most of them were like the live action shows. Like, do I want to talk about those shows again? So I mean, I did do like a ranking. Like, I think I did do a ranking of what live action shows. I think that might be still on my show. You guys want to check that out? I think I'll leave a link to it down below. Or if it's not listed, I'll basically re-upload it. But today we're going to talk about in the video, we're talking about my favorite Cartoon Network shows. Since obviously it's been a long time since then, I've seen a lot of Cartoon Network shows, obviously. So again, some to our Nickelodeon shows, there are so many great shows. Like I grew up watching, like of all the networks I talked about here, Cartoon Network's a show that I've grown most in any of these shows. And these networks, Cartoon Network is the one that I basically connect with the most because I rewatched the show so many times and I got back to them so often. So yeah, making this list definitely was not easy. It was definitely easy to figure out which one was going to fit which what. Like this was probably the hardest list I've ever done. So I'm not even 100% sure on still on certain shows, but it's still my list. But instead of doing it to top 15, I'm expanding it to a top 20. Expanding to a top 20 best shows of all Cartoon Network shows. Again, what I need to list to it seems some of the shows I put in mentions are like, should I really get mentions? Like, that's how good a lot of these shows are. But I also do want to give a disclaimer. Adventure Time is not going to be on this list. For two reasons. One, I did not finish the show. And two, I just never got into Adventure Time. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why. It's one of those shows I just can't seem to really get into. So, give me another heads up. But, again, always my personal opinion. Again, it's hard to still my opinion. But I would definitely love to know yours down below in the comments. But I hope you all still enjoying listening to the list. And as always, before we get to the actual list, let's get into some honorable mentions. Shows I still adore and love. Just did not make the list. No. Honorable mentions are Young Justice, the original Justice League, Semi-Binary Titans, Ben 10 and Ben 10 Alien Force, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Megas XLR, Johnny Bravo, the Powerpuff Girls, the original, of course, Duck Dodgers, The Looney Tunes Show, We Bear Bears, Robot Jones, Mike Lunog, Generator Rex, Time Squad, Clone Wars, the 2003 micro series. I will also include the. And I got the post also, which content show, I'll probably include that in as well. My Japan is a Monkey, Juniper Lee, and lastly, if you're not like this, Steven Universe. That's all I'm gonna say. But those are what I mentioned, so let's get to the actual top 20 list, shall we? Again, we got 20 shows to talk about. Again, like I mentioned before, this list wasn't easy. Like, I think of all the lists I've done on the channel, this might have been the hardest list I've done. Because there were one of the 7 points were number one my favorites. In terms of ranking the overall shows, like, it was not easy ranking which ones I find more great, honestly. Like, all these shows are in equal quality in terms of being shows I think also my favorites of all time. So, bear with me on that, okay? Good. Okay, so, starting off at number 20 on this list, we have Class of 3000. The show I come out on very recently, actually. Like, the show I got back to earlier this year, and I'm surprised how good the show actually holds up. But I think how I even like make it. I also made a nostalgia road trip video on this show, so you guys want to know more information about the show. But again, it's basically a show about Andre 3000, playing a teacher named Sunny who teaches music students. A lot of creative shenanigans with girls with everything, and going how you expect a Cartoon Network show to go. With very interesting characters, very great music that's still good to jam out to this day. Solid animation, especially with different animation styles they go for in the show, and just overall very charming and great show. Now coming in at number 19, again, it wasn't easy, but number 19 we actually have the Amazing World of Gumball. Now, yeah, if I would have done this list like a few years ago, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have Gumball on the actual list. And I don't think it was an honorable mention because I don't really much show, but as I watched the show over years, I felt the show is probably one of the most interesting creative shows out there. Like it's a show that's very like out there, off the walls, insane, had that crazy humor and some great self-referential humor and all that, and characters acting pretty selfish people sometimes, but it kind of what caused that a lot of thanks to the animation style, a lot of the crazy situations, because which you probably hear me say a lot of these shows, but that's because that's kind of the point of a lot of these shows, a lot of crazy insane situations they end up getting themselves into, but Snowball is definitely one. Again, has a very unique animation style, great music, great humor, really interesting characters, great voice acting. Show that's just charming. And you probably also hear me say charming a lot throughout this video. Throughout this, you hear me say charming a lot throughout this video, but that's because that's how a lot of shows are. What makes it work? Just charming. Shows that probably wouldn't normally work as well as they do. It was for the charm, the animation, the writing, and the voice acting, and also the characters. And it is a show that honestly is consistently hilarious. And you can probably hear some sightings to my number 18 spot, and that is the marvelous misadventures of Flapjack. Do you guys remember Flapjack? I watched the show a lot when it was airing and everything, based on a show about a guy named Flapjack wanting to go on adventure! Adventure! Which this guy Knuckles, who is like a really horrible person. Like a, and those two they used the middle still as kind of like a drug metaphor, but again, it's a charming of the voice acting, the characters and music that makes these characters still so fun to watch. Again, the crazy shit to get into, the really interesting animation, and kind of gross soundness at times, but it adds to the charming uniqueness of the show that generally still makes it pretty hilarious. Like, there are a lot of moments that you would not expect in actually show consider, but yeah, pretty good stuff. And then, I show that honestly, unfortunately, I'm surprised that they're being on this only number 17, but the show I still love it is Code Name Kids Next Door. Again, another show that I used to love watching religiously growing up. I can't watch a lot of episodes so many times. I still remember something from memory. One of the characters, a lot of situations. Again, basically a show where basically kids are just want to be kids and doesn't want to do like adult responsibilities, and adults are played as evil, maniacal dictators or awful people and everything. Again, it adds to the charm of the show, honestly, and adds a lot of stuff that kids actually end up feeling during this age or during this time. And it makes for a lot of pretty hilarious situations, pretty interesting characters. Characters really great back and forth throughout the show. Characters that may have similar traits, but are more fleshed out in later seasons and episodes. And I mentioned you get some really fun villains. Again, Cartoon Network's been a show that always does great when it comes to the supporting characters as well. Again, some of the Nickelodeon Cartoon Network seems to always do well when it comes to the supporting characters. Characters that make them sometimes stand even more than main characters, and the store definitely has some really memorable villains as well that are just hilarious and iconic to watch. So yeah, it's a show that's just charming and hilarious from beginning to end. Now, at number 16, again, this list wasn't easy, folks. So if I had Dexter's freaking Laboratory at number 16, should tell you the quality we're going to talk about with some of these shows. But yeah, Coding Kids Next Door is Dexter's Laboratory, sorry. Last try. Dexter's Laboratory is, again, it's one of the part of the show that pretty much is one of the first true iconic Cartoon Network shows. I think probably the first true iconic Cartoon Network show, and for good reason. It's probably aired like almost 30 years, like almost 30 years ago, like damn. But yeah, that long. It's a show that I think still holds up pretty well, actually. The animation is still pretty well done. The characters are still fun to watch. Situations they get into, the music, the animation, the characters, the formula that ends up not being stale, the creative shenanigans. Like it's pretty much everything I said about the previous shows, just higher. And now, and then 15 and 14, we actually get to two of the most recent ones. This one I actually did watch a couple years ago, but this one I actually watched earlier this year. But at number 15, we have Infinity Train. I'm very fortunate show because obviously it's one of those shows that is pretty much now lost to media. Honestly, like real much lost to media. Like you can find the show much on stuff in it. And it's fortunate because this is a show that definitely, definitely has that's one of some of the most complex themes out of any Cartoon Network show, and it delivers really interesting storytelling, delivers really complex stuff that you wouldn't expect show like to do. I enjoyed the only reason that number 15 because, well, I just enjoyed the shows a bit more, but that's just, again, like I said, this wasn't easy to do, guys, so bear with me. But Fate Train is definitely a show that happy I was able to actually watch it for it and also get delisted. So honestly, it's one of those shows that, fortunately, we live in a society nowadays that where a show doesn't do so well ends up being like delisted or just gone on all streaming services, which is fucking insane if you really think about it. Like, it's pretty harsh, honestly. Especially as a show that actually was, well praised. But damn, maybe we gotta get. But if you guys have a chance to check out Fairy Train, I would definitely do. And at 14, we actually have a show I did watch earlier this year, and that is Primal. Primal. I'm not sure if people count this honestly, because it only did air on Adult Swim, so this is one of those cases where I'm kind of counting, but because it gave me a chance to actually talk about this show, so I am counting it here. And plus, it is also done by Jane Tartakovsky as well. But those not know who. That's of course the guy that did Death Laboratory, Samurai Jack, Star Wars Cloverfield series, Titans. He also did the whole Transylvania series as well. But the guy is extremely talented, and you definitely will see one of his shows high up on this list. And Primal is a very, very interesting show. Like, holy shit, it's a show that really gets brutal and has incredible animation. Really, it's really one of those shows that you should see for yourselves, honestly. Like, it's definitely a show that's definitely one of the most unique shows on this list, and I say it's ever watching, and I'm happy I was able to watch it for this list. Obviously not 14, but it's still a fantastic show. At number 13, we have Total Drama. Yes, I told Drama 2, which this show would be a lot higher considering I made like 3 videos about the first 3 seasons of the show. I feel like I'm gonna say this, but this is really easy to do, guys. So, but the fact that Total Drama number 13 definitely show you how good that shows up. Again, I love Total Drama. I grew up watching this show. I grew up watching all the seasons. Again, if you want my thoughts on Island, actually, you can check out my Nostalgia Road Trip videos I did on all 3 seasons of the show. I think the only reason why it's not high on this list was because of the other seasons. I mean, Veggie Island is still a good season, in my opinion. I think it's actually kind of underrated, in my opinion. The Part 2 and All Stars, I think, are just pretty much trash, honestly. Those are pretty abysmal seasons, and they're generally the only reason why this season is not higher, honestly. But of course, you got the 2 other reboots, which I think season 1 is actually a pretty great reboot. And honestly, the Big Red Island is the best season of Total Drama, in my opinion. Season 2 is the one I also love, but I think it's gotten a bit down on me the more I think about it. But it's still maybe a good season. I think a bit overhated, in my opinion. You know, I do understand a lot of the hate, especially the whole, certain things that happen in that season. But Total Drama is a show that always holds much place in my heart. Like, it still has a growing fan base to this very day for a goddamn reason. And now, at number 12, we got a Scooby-Doo show on this list, and that is because it did air Cartoon Network, and that is Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, which I think we all can agree is probably the best Scooby-Doo show, because it pretty much does what Scooby-Doo surprisingly has never done till that point. Focus on the actual characters. Not that they haven't done that, honestly, but this is probably the first Scooby-Doo thing that felt more character-focused than ever. As they were just focused on the mystery and the comedy and all that stuff. And once time during interactions, they don't really focus much on true character stuff. Like, the live action stuff did, honestly, but in terms of the animation stuff, this is the first one that truly set as mostly very character focused. And it works. It is extremely character focused in the best possible way. And they do it pretty well, making characters very interesting and compelling. And well, they definitely have some cringy stuff, honestly, especially the whole Shaggy Velma storyline. There's still enough greatness here with the characters and what they go through and how you really feel a lot of moments. And to make sure Scooby-Doo's probably that has one of the best, probably the best mystery probably the best mystery yet, honestly, what goes on in season 1, the crazy character decisions they go through, the character directions they end up going for, great animation, great voice acting, and some really nice, great twists and turns, especially towards the season 1 finale. In season 2, that was pretty good. Again, unfortunately, it's not one of those shows that got canceled way too soon. But honestly, if you love Scooby-Doo, this is definitely one to check out. Again, in my opinion, the best anything Scooby-Doo has done, in my opinion. Aside from Zombie Island, of course. And the show that just missed out on the top 10. It's a show that I actually also did watch for the first time last year. And it's crazy considering this one to finally watch the show, but there you are, and that show is Over the Golden Wall. Oh my god, the show's not in the top 10? Kid, the list wasn't easy, bear with me. But Over the Golden Wall is still an amazing show. Don't think any say any more that hasn't already been said. Beautiful miniseries, beautiful animation. Sure, still talking about 10 years later. No. Sorry. Now in the top 10, and coming in number 10, we have a regular show. It's anything but. Again, obviously, I love regular show, obviously. Well, it's not a show that's not the most consistent show in the world, which is why I went number 10 here. It's a show that, again, is still consistently hilarious, still has incredible character growth with a lot of the characters. And again, it's one of those shows that take the most meaningless of tasks and the meaningless of things into the most bonkers, world-ending situations out there. And it's one of those shows that does it pretty well and honestly very right, honestly. Like, the show's still talked about greatly to this day and for good reason. Hell, I think they're making like a sequel series, I think, at some point with some of the training characters, if I remember correctly. But honestly, I can't wait for that, honestly. Again, the voice acting, the animation, the music, the way they always use like classic music from the 80s and 90s is just incredible. Incredible, the crazy back and forth between a lot of the characters, and you can get some very heartwarming emotional stuff out of the show. And while the romance stuff can be a bit irritating, it never takes away from the actual great humor and the greatness of the show, in my opinion. So the radio show is anything but amazing. I probably said that wrong, but you know what I mean. But anyways, coming number 9, we have Camp Laszlo. Laszlo. I'm pretty sure I'm the only person that has a show in the top 10, honestly, but again, it's one of the cases where it could be nostalgia, in my opinion, but I've always had a soft spot for Camp Laszlo. I watched the shit out of this show when it aired. Like, anytime there's an episode, I would watch the crap out of it. Constantly and constantly. Anytime there's an episode, I would watch it and watch it and watch it constantly. And it's a show that just has a very good charming nature to it. Again, still taking a lot of phrases I mentioned in a lot of other shows I talk about, which is very zany, cartoony in the best possible way. Very fun characters that have very distinct personalities. Have very great gags, getting explained characters that are very distinct and very interesting. And a lot of crazy situations again through camp and everything, but all having some good heartwarming moments. And sometimes good music, of course also the sound effects also help with that as well. But the show is just full of so much charm that I can't help but love watching and whenever I come back to it. Now, while it's been known that Cartoon Network modern era is definitely not the best era, honestly, mostly because of Teen Titans Go, I think this show proves that when they, I think it's definitely proven that when they have the right material and right story, they can have a great show. Honestly, I don't know if people thought with budget time, but like I said, I don't really care about the show, fortunately. Again, I still don't know why. But I get able to get it back on because at my number 8 we have Craig of the Creek. A show that I honestly, for the first moment I saw, I knew I was gonna love it. Again, that show is very simple, but in the best possible way. Again, the show takes like minimal things and the little situation into like very crazy adventures. About Craig basically exploring this like creek that's full of very mysterious stuff and full of very over the top stuff, certain archetypes and characters and like parody stuff, along with geek stuff and everything like that. But it makes for incredible, hilarious moments. Kind of you kind of really like local cast characters. I feel like they do grow a lot throughout the show. And a very kid-like humor that's very great, very interesting characters, very likable and great characters throughout, and just a lot of charm and heart for into the show. Find out good music and pretty surprising moments, and some actual good story direction, some actual good story-built moments. Like it's not just an episodic show; it actually has a legitimate story in some areas, and it really works, especially in the later seasons. So yeah. I think the show's going to end pretty soon, obviously, and also they also released a prequel movie of this year that I actually do recommend checking out, actually. Showing how Craig was on his first day of the creek, and I actually do recommend watching that movie, actually. Like, it's actually one of the better previews to come out, actually. But Craig the Creek is definitely a very underappreciated show. I don't think it gets talked about much, honestly, but I think it's a show that definitely should be more talked about. Now I definitely went up and down between my number 7 and number 6, but at least in way I want to place them. But number 7, we got the other Jen Kontoski show that I said I was going to talk about, that is Samurai Jack. Now, of course, Samurai Jack was going to make a hype on this list because it is a show that I loved watching growing up. I love coming back to the show and seeing the storytelling and seeing Jack trying to get back to the past. Got back to the past now, doing on the Jack. What? I think that run is a times. Yeah, honestly, I ended up singing that theme song randomly so many times, and I still do. Again, incredible futuristic world. Again, very different in tone, but still have some nice humorous moments, but having a very unique style animation, very interesting characters. Like, I could be one of the best villains to come out of Cartoon Network. and despite, with the questionable finale that we have gotten, it's a show that still generally delivers on the greatness and the humor and it also has some of the best action set pieces out of any cartoon like ever. Again, the fact that it's show only number 7 should tell you how great the other shows are. And get to probably one of the funniest shows on this list. Honestly, probably in debate being the funniest one, but number 6, we have Chowder. The show is probably one of the funniest shows to ever exist, honestly. Like, I take everything I said about the other Cartoon Network shows, like I mentioned, with the humor and the zaniness and the over-the-topness of the cartoon aspects, and dial up to 100. Like, this show that's just very insane and crazy and in the best possible way. It's a show about freaking food. It's a show about making food. And it's also one of the biggest, like, fourth wall break shows out there, which is, and the humor always gets me when it's done. That humor always hits me when it's done right, and it's definitely done right here. Again, very charming, very hilarious, very interesting characters. Again, Shitzel, still one of my favorite characters. Rada, 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 oh, rada, 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 did you rada, 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 rada. Now we're on the top 5, people. Hope you enjoyed this video so far. Again, let me know your favorite cartoon shows down below in the comment section. Let me know any shows I might have missed here. But anyways, coming in at number 5. Taking out top 5, we have a show that I actually did watch early last year. Actually, for the last year, like I watched this show. So while growing up, I only watched the title of it, and that is Justice League Unlimited, which is basically like a sequel series to the Justice League show that basically was at the honorable mention section, which kind of I'll say that show is probably the show that ended up missing at my list the most, but Unlimited is still a fantastic show, honestly, and the show and we're just like basically has episodes told in like big arcs. This one is just episodic and have one story in one episode, but it's a show that obviously has like a lot more heroes and a lot more different characters, and it makes it a show that's just very it basically everything from that show. It just builds it up so much with the characters dynamics, the emotional moments, the heartwarming moments, the character dynamics, the action set pieces. It's basically everything from that show, just somehow a million times better. That show is already great. And a lot of different heroes they bring are great. The voice acting is fantastic. It's a show that's really every like DC fans dream, honestly. And if you like love any of these heroes, they do very faithfully. He also gets great humor and some great back and forth between all the characters that you would expect these type of characters to do. And that theme song still kicks ass. I know these songs at home random sometimes, but yeah, Justice League Unlimited, fantastic show. And now coming in at number 4 on this list, we have Courage, the Guide Dog. Now, I don't remember what I had to show on my last list, honestly. I think it was still in the top 10. But after looking back on the show and watching a few episodes, I totally forgot how just fantastic Courage the Dog is. Like, it's probably the freakiest show on this list. I'm pretty sure this is a show that gave a lot of kids nightmares. Probably myself included. I mean, have you seen a lot of the freaky imagery and the freaky imagery and the insane crazy stuff they end up showing that? Like, how did Cartoon Network approve of this? Is this supposed to be a kids show? It's like one of those shows. Like, wait, is this supposed to be a kids show? But yeah, Courage the Dog, in the introduction, hilarious show, great characters, great animation. A show that I think actually, the other one shows on this list, I think it's honestly it's aged the best, honestly. Honestly, I'd be actually putting like 1 or 2 spots higher on this ranking, honestly, not talking before. But again, that just shows how great the other 3 shows on this list. But yeah, overall, Courage the Dog, I think is fantastic. Now we are in the top 3, people. And I think this probably is the same top 3 that I actually had in my original list. I don't remember, honestly, but I think this might be the same top 3, honestly. But number 3, we have Teen Titans. Which, of course, I don't need to say, but Teen Titans already been said, is an incredible show. Despite the fact it doesn't really too much on the origins of how they formed, at least until later in the show, and how they certain characters, but it's a show that still works thanks to its incredible cast of characters, the great storylines, fantastic humor, fantastic action set pieces. A show that still holds up pretty well, actually. A show that has just great charm to it, great super action set pieces, but one not afraid to get really dark and emotional, especially in the later seasons. Like, it gets really dark. But the show I think is definitely still worth watching. And number two, we get to shows that actually are both two of the most funniest shows I've seen in my life. And probably one of my top two definitive shows, but number two, we have The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. A show that's probably the most epic sci show on this list. But it's a show that definitely makes up for it thanks to his incredible use of humor. How it makes certain jokes that normally wouldn't be hilarious, actually pretty hilarious. It's a show I don't think hardly has any misses in terms of the humor, if not very misses. The characters are very just one note, but they all one note in the best possible ways, and they managed to develop some of them at least in later seasons. Again, the background between Grim, Billy, and Mance is great. Again, another season with the supporting cast really steals the show with every single scene there. Again, the supporting characters are just incredible to witness, and they make a lot of scenes so much funnier and hilarious. Like, holy shit. Find out great music, great animation, and even surprisingly good action at some points. You get pretty sure that's super nice. But yeah, now we get to my number one. And it's still the same number one I had on my original list. I always say this is my favorite Cartoon Network show, and that is Ed, Edd n Eddy. Podcast is the show I rewatched the most out of all these shows, and I rewatched these shows countless times, so that's saying something. So that may be a bit nostalgia bias, honestly, I'm not denying that. As maybe a couple of shows me have a little tad teensy bit better quality. But that's mostly because of the Ganga sisters in this show. But anyway, it's a show that still holds a place with my heart. I think one of the shows that has got me through a lot of tough times. It's a show that has made me smile and laugh throughout so much of my life. And it has some great characters, hilarious characters that are just very weird and all pretty insane, but in the best possible ways. Again, humor that would normally not work, they end up working because these characters in the writing, great animation, really charming humor, really interesting character. Again, another thing with the supporting cast really steals the show. Like Rolf especially is probably one of my favorite characters. Even the first season I would say is actually I think it's actually quite underrated actually. I don't think it has reached the heights of the previous seasons. And then got that movie, which I think Outlaw Process is number one, but the rest of the show is still fantastic with the humor and the characters and the back and forths and everything. And considering the nostalgia bias to it, it's why I put Ed, Eddy at number one. Okay. Well, I've done, guys. I finally give for all these videos. Again, I finally finished picking my favorite shows from Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, and Cartoon Network. And you can check out the previous lists I did. I think I did like 3 Disney Channel videos on top of my least favorite show, Disney Channel, along with my favorite sitcoms and animated shows. I feel like I probably should have done the Nickelodeon, but I did not realize until too late. But you can check out all of my best Nickelodeon shows and my worst Nickelodeon shows. And I think I do have a live action Cartoon Network ranking where I rank all the Cartoon Network live action shows. And to be honest, that probably what made it most of the list. So you can probably check that video. I guess want to know which show would be my. I think the bottom show that list probably be my least favorites. But definitely let me know your favorite Cartoon Network shows down in the comment section. Let me know shows that you missed in this list. Thank you all for like 90 of the YouTubes and love and support. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am Sam World from Sam World Positions. I will see you next time as always. Stay cool, everybody. Peace.